Welcome to the second edition of Lawn and Garden Sculptures. Now, I particularly like this video because there are three distinct aspects. One is the sculptures. Pretty neat sculptures and surprisingly easy to do. Now, when I say easy, the techniques are easy. Doesn't mean that they won't take some work. Then there's the mechanics, so that the sculptures will move with the breeze. And then there's the techniques. This video is loaded with techniques that you'll be able to use on these sculptures and other sculptures that you'll do in the future. Now, why a second edition? When I was doing the first edition, I kept thinking, there's got to be a better way for the mechanics. Well, one morning I woke up at 4 a.m. and I had an idea. I could not go back to sleep. And I had to wait till 7 o'clock until the hardware store opened. But in my opinion, I've got an idea that is much easier. As mentioned, it's difficult to break this close to the edge with an inexpensive brake. Put it up against that bend and begin hammering. Now, in the jewelry trade, this is called planishing. Just by going across that dolly and planishing the copper. For this sculpture, I'm going to do a duck. Now, you could do a bird or something else that you like that would go in with cattails, but I'm going to do a duck. First thing is to draw a pattern out. And I use the craft paper or the grocery sacks because it's a little bit heavier, and I can then lay the pattern on the sheet metal and draw around it. So far so good, but cutting these curves out, that's a little bit more difficult. You're probably going to get some sharp edges. So once you're all done, then run around with a file. Just take those sharp edges off. Now, I put this in the vise, and I'm using a 2x4, and I'm just going to bend this over. Now, you can use a brake if you have one, but if you don't have a brake, this is an alternative. And just take it out of the vise, and you can see we've got a right angle bend. So this can be used as a substitute for a brake. What I have here is two pieces of 1/8 inch steel, 1 inch across, 3.5 inches long. Same material as this. Now, this is about 1.5 feet from the end, from going down here to the part that's going to go in the ground. And this will be to hammer the piece into the ground. Now, as you can see, I've tack welded each end here, and now I'm going to gas weld it. I'm using the 3/32 RG45 welding rod. As you can see, I gas welded the 1/8 inch pieces to the 1/2 inch rod. And I did this on both sides. Then I turned it over and repeated the process. You might try brazing this, and that might be strong enough. But I know that this steel to steel and the gas welding the 1/8 inch pieces to the 1/2 inch rod, this will be plenty strong.